Hello, and welcome to a presentation on working with a financial neutral in the collaborative divorce process in Washington State. My name is Meg Gluckman. I am a divorce and co-parenting coach, and I am glad to be here to present with Jenny Buska, who is a CDFA. Hi, Jenny. Thanks for being
Hi,
here.
thanks for having me.
Can you start us by explaining what a CDFA
A
is?
CDFA is a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. In a nutshell, what I tell people at parties is we help people figure out how to split their stuff. It's just to try and bring it down to the most basic. If there's a lot more complication in it, it's a super detailed process, but that's what a CDFA is, a Certified Divorce Financial Analyst.
Wonderful. And you're going to walk us through what it's like to actually work with a CDFA.
Yes. And more
Let's,
specifically, we're going to talk about working with the CDFA in the role of a financial neutral on a collaborative divorce case.
wonderful. Let's dive in.
Working with a financial neutral on a collaborative divorce process is, well, that's my role. I'm neutral. I work with both clients. When a client decides that they are going to move forward with a collaborative divorce, they are referred to a CDFA. That's when I get the phone call. First step is we'll do a financial consult, and then we'll gather information, team meetings, brainstorming, reaching agreements. Final agreement is the process within a collaborative divorce. So starting with the financial consult, that's basically a conversation with clients. What I'm going to do is ask questions and find out what's important to my clients. The consult is usually together. I'm usually having it with both people, and they're just letting me know what's important to them. And then we talk about things like my fee agreement, the privacy policy. Then I go into a little bit of detail about what I need from them. I have a checklist of documentation that I have them upload. I have a basic Excel like information spreadsheet that I have them complete for me too. And that's the consult. The next step is for once they have everything uploaded, give me a call, let me know that it's uploaded, and then I'll get to work on the data entry. And the data entry, I am entering everything from information on your real estate to checking and savings accounts to retirement accounts. What do you have? Personal items that are of value, such as cars, and then any debts that you have, debts that might show up on your credit report. So I literally ask for everything. In addition to that, we also discuss what you spend. Some of that information comes off of your credit report, but I do rely on my clients to really do a deep dive on their spending, their living expenses. What do you make? How much do you spend? How are we going to turn one household into two? And that's the primary goal here, turning one household into two, both via what do you have and what do you spend. Once I have all of the information from my clients, what I'll do is I create two reports. And then I have another meeting with the client. So that's a financial review meeting. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over those reports. One is the property report, what do you have? And the other one is your living expenses report. What are you spending? And we're simply going over it for accuracy purposes. We're not talking about who gets the house or anything like that. We're just looking at, is everything that I have correct? Is there anything missing? If there is anything missing, then we're going to just create homework items and I'm going to ask them to get this information into me. The main goal that I want to have this meeting before a full team meeting with attorneys present is because we can fine tune these reports, get them as accurate as possible, because at the first full team meeting that I am at, we will be doing another review of these exact same reports. The more that we can work outside of the full team meeting, the more efficient it is and the less costly it is for our clients because they're spending more time with the attorneys present doing brainstorming and such, which takes us to the full team meeting. A full team meeting would be two clients, two attorneys, plus me, and potentially a divorce coach or a child specialist, whomever else is on your team. We would go over the property report and living expenses. We're looking for accuracy. If we are able to make it through both reports within a 2-hour time frame with a little bit of time left over, then we'll get into brainstorming. Oftentimes we don't. Oftentimes we have 2 hours and it takes that full 2 hours to get through those two reports, as the attorneys will have extra questions or there'll be extra homework items that we didn't discuss in the financial team meeting. So that's the first team meeting. Then at the end of that first team meeting, we're looking at our calendars, setting up the next team meeting. And generally speaking, there's usually homework in between the two that our clients are fine tuning and getting information to us. At the second full team meeting, that's financially based, that's where we're going to build some scenarios. We're going to do some brainstorming. We're going to discuss turning one household into two. We're going to discuss things like what would it look like if wife kept the house or husband kept the house? What's important to each of them? It might be if there's a pension, it might be that it's really important to keep that pension intact for the employee. Or they might decide that they know that they are going to split the pension 50-50. We want to hear what those items are for each individual client, because that helps us build our scenarios. I'm not just going to come in and assume 50-50-50 straight down the line every single assets. We're going to ask our clients, what's important to you? What would you like to see? Does it make sense? And then as a CDFA, I'll take my expertise and I'll also add to that conversation. For example, keeping the house. Is there going to be a capital gains tax at a later date? Not that that would necessarily impact decisions today, but it creates awareness for in the future. Same thing with retirement plans, pensions, pension valuations, which is an entirely different conversation. All of these things get taken into consideration. Tax implications. We try to look at all of this to make sure that our clients are making the most informed decision based on what's important to them. We will likely have more meetings than two, simply because we are going to continue to fine tune and have discussions until we reach agreements. And we're going to reach agreements on two things. What do you have versus what do you spend? And the what do you spend, that can be conversations not only if there's children, child support, in which case the attorneys would do the child support calculator, but also spousal support. And where the attorneys will discuss the factors that go into determining spousal support, but then we get to talk about how much, how long, if it's applicable, so on and so forth. And once we have all of that said and done, congratulations, we've reached agreements.
Thank you so much, Jenny. It's so helpful to walk through what the process is like for working with a financial neutral in the collaborative divorce process. We demystify it by breaking it down into the nuts and bolts and the actual meetings that are part of the process. So thank you so much for that. This concludes part 1 of our 2-part series on working with a CDFA. In part 2, I ask Jenny a whole bunch of questions about finances and navigating a divorce, like how do we decide who keeps the house? What do we do about retirement? What about spousal support? What about child support? And we get into some more specific examples and issues that come up for folks as they're navigating their. So check that out as well. And here you have our contact information. Feel free to reach out to Jenny or I if there's additional questions you have, or if you want to see about having us support you through your divorce. We hope that this presentation has been very helpful, and we'll see you in part 2.